right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean, and we are coming into you live this 9 o'clock Saturday night, August 24th, 2019. Just getting the stream up. If anybody's popped in to watch or whatever, let me know if you can hear me okay. This is a remote setup. I'm streaming off my little HP EliteBook G3 that I got from work. One of the cool things of working for a large corporation is IT guys get really cool equipment. This is an older laptop that we're actually disposing of, but it's actually pretty powerful. And so the boss, we're able to buy them for dirt cheap. So we're waiting for our disposal guys to come. But in the meantime, I thought I didn't want to sit in my office because I have to turn on the big bright light. And I wanted to be out here in the living room so you can see my living room. This is where I actually GM from. And just wanted to pop on YouTube and just do a quick recast of what happened. Just wanted to pop on YouTube and just do a quick recast of. There we go. Turn that off. So little goof there. I just wanted to, because I can't see the chat. Can I pop the chat out? The good news is I can hear the audio. So let's see here. Pop out chat. There we go. So I can put that out, put that down, and put that out like right here. And what I'll do is I'll minimize this. I don't know if anybody's going to pop in the chat. If you do, great. If you don't, it's all good. This will be live streamed and it'll stay up for a little while. This is a nice little 15-inch laptop, but the good news is I can hear it real good, so that's nice. I'm going to take my glasses off just because I'm so close to the screen, and there's a glare coming from my light. My son is asleep in the next room, so just wanted to chat about. I hadn't posted a video in a couple of days. The last video I did was, I believe, what was the last video I did? I don't even know. It was a real short 8-page evil weapons that Richard Woolcock did, Zadmar. I got quite a few nice responses from that and everything, so thanks everybody. I think we're almost, I don't even know how many viewers we have. Let's see real quick. We can do that. That's the nice part. Let's go over here, and you guys can't see my screen, but I don't want to have the audio conflicting with what I'm doing. So 539 subscribers. So yeah, we're getting up there, kids. I'm also on Discord. There's a link down there. If you on my YouTube channel, I'll actually put a link right now in here. Let's edit our invite link. Expires at, let's say, never. And let's generate the link. So we'll copy that. We'll close that. We'll go back to we'll go back to chat, and my Discord server, YouTube. There you go, guys. There's a link in there. So that's to my Discord server. So feel free to join, and I have it installed on my phone. I don't have it installed on my work computer because I work real closely with the Security Operations Center, or the SOC, and they don't like us doing illegal stuff on our software, on our laptops. So I can't run Discord on my laptop, but I do have it on my phone. That's apparently okay. They have the ability to monitor our phones, and they can remove stuff from it if they don't want it on there. So they haven't removed it yet, so I'm pretty good. But anyway, guys, tonight was it's just live. If nobody joins, no harm, no foul. If you missed missed the live chat and you're watching this later, just like and subscribe as always. I appreciate it. I'm on Zelly Pay. If you want to donate to the channel, the money goes back into the channel and helps pay for all this cool stuff that I do. But last night, so what I wanted to talk about is I did a review a couple weeks ago of Pathfinder Second Edition. I did the playtest, absolutely loved it, and so this was a no-brainer. I gotta say, I like D&D. I'm having fun with it. I'm running a Midgard campaign from Kobold Press. Really love that setting. Love the vibe that it gives. Love the character classes and the races and everything. It's very much different. It doesn't show that I. All right. Well, I don't know if it hiccuped, guys. Let me know. Like I said, nobody's in the chat right now. I don't think anybody's watching. Like I said, no harm, no foul. I'm not going to take any offense. Nobody watched my channel. Like, what was me? What? No, I do this for me. If you guys watch, great. Well, there's 4 people watching, evidently. So, awesome. I guess evidently the stream hiccuped, but it's all good. So, if you're watching, pop into the chat there and say hi. But give a shout out. So this was a no-brainer for me to buy. I really enjoyed the play test. I liked where the rules were going. I have a lot of the Pathfinder First Edition stuff, but it's just uber crunchy. 3.5 was super crunchy, and a lot of people like that. I do not. I don't mind playing in a crunchy game if I have the time to, work on my character and everything. But being a dad, being 52 with a 2-year-old, I'm tired at the end of the day, man. I'm sure you guys out there understand and know how it feels. So I'm kind of beat when I get home. I feed the kid, I get him ready for bed, and I'm in bed 30 minutes after him, man. It's just, but I'm up at 5:30 in the morning and I'm running solid until 3:30. Some days I don't even get a lunch. That's just the way it works. Hey, Craig Martin in NZ, is that New Zealand? If it is, awesome. Thanks for watching, man. Lazy afternoon. Yeah, I bet. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. Craig's the first one to pop in and say hi. So a big hello to Craig there in New Zealand. So like I was saying, this was a no-brainer for me. I knew I was going to buy this. I pre-ordered it, and I'm so glad I got it. I ran an intro session last night, and I didn't go crazy with the purchases. I could have, and I kind of wanted to because the stuff looked really cool, but there was that instant gratification that it wasn't available. I mean, right off the bat, at least not here in Duluth. I know some of the places got the stuff day one. We didn't. I don't know why my local game store didn't order it. I wanted it. I told them I would buy it as soon as it comes in, but our game stores here are, for lack of a better word, they're lame. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way for Level Up Games. They are an awesome game store, and Rogue Robots and Comics is an awesome game store. The problem is just it's a small town. Duluth is only about 75,000 people, I think. So not necessarily, they can't afford to carry everything. They survive on Magic and Warhammer, the various miniature games from Warhammer. They do a lot of Pathfinder. They have a lot of gaming groups there that play a lot of D&D groups. So they'll special order and they'll give you 10% off everything. So a shout out to Level Up Games and those guys there. They do a great job. But I just don't know why they didn't get, the Plague Stone or some like the condition cards or anything. They could have bought like one of each. I'm sure they would have sold. I don't know why they didn't. I wish they would have. I would have bought them if they were there because I was there Friday, the day after it released, and I picked up my books. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So last night, half of our group, we've got 5, well now 6 players in my D&D group. We meet every Friday and we play from 7 to about 11. One of the players has to leave around 9:45 because he has to go to work at 10. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But I enjoy him. He's relatively new to D&D. And he brought in another person who had never played before. She had always wanted to play. And now he's brought his girlfriend in. And she's played once or twice with some friends, but she had a blast last night. We all had fun. So the first thing I want to get off the thing is, if you're a diehard D&D player or you're a diehard GURPS or Savage Worlds, give this a try. You'll be pleasantly surprised. It's got a fair amount of crunch, and if you're a grognard like me, you don't like the crunch, but this is manageable because you're getting in at the ground level, so you don't have to buy into all the crunch. You can just stick with the core book, and you can run that. And it ran fine last night. I wasn't as solid on the rules as of course I would have liked to have been, but we got through it just fine. They're all D&D players, so they didn't know any different. So any flubs or mistakes that I would have made, they didn't even notice. And we just rolled on with it. I'd say about the only mechanic in there that I don't like so far that I encountered is when you're using miniatures. We played Theater of the Mind last night, but of course I was reading the rules like a maniac over the last couple of days just to make sure I was prepped to run the game. And they have it's a holdover from 3.5 and 3.0 is the diagonal movement. When you move diagonally, your first movement is 5 feet, your next movement costs 10 feet. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm sure there's a logical reason. I just don't like it. I think it's complicated and it slows the game down. And, you're trying to move your guys, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, was that my second 5 foot move, or is that my my third? Does that count as 5 feet, or does it count as two? I think it's just redundant, and it doesn't. When you're playing a monk and you're moving 40 feet, it doesn't matter. You're going to get there. So I usually just throw that rule right out the window, and I'm probably going to do it with this version. I don't think it's mechanically going to make a huge difference, because if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it matters for ranged attacks. You don't count, the second diagonally 5 foot as 10 feet, and then the fourth, so on and so forth. So that's just dumb then. If it doesn't count for ranged attacks, why should it count for movement? And like I said, I'm sure there's a reason. I just don't know. But we played 3 players. We had a Goblin Alchemist, which was so much fun. And my friend Arpan, he had a blast playing him. We had an Elven Ranger, and we had a human medic sorcerer. So he was a sorcerer, magic user, but he was a medic, field medic. So obviously he'd seen some army time or something. These were all pre-gens that I whipped up real quick, just so we could play, because we didn't want to spend an hour or 2 hours making characters. We did unfortunately spend about 2 hours just flapping our lips, but it was really nice to meet Andrew's girlfriend. She was a breath of fresh air. She was so vibrant and funny and really cute, and she reminded me of my daughter. And it was just so much fun. And she literally, you could just see her glow. She was having so much fun. And so that was awesome. And Andrew, it was funny because when we stopped, Andrew, who didn't get to participate in the combat because the Goblin and the Ranger took out I had giant centipedes. They took out the giant centipedes, and he just sat there ready. He was kind of stunned the first round. He didn't make his perception check, and the centipedes were able to sneak up. But fortunately, the Goblin and the Ranger had kept him towards the back the way it worked out. So the centipedes attacked those 2 players first, and so he was free, so he never had to worry about it. But it was fun because when we were all done, and time constraints, everybody had to go. It was about 10 o'clock. Andrew just put his character sheet down. And he says, "That was fun. I like it." And so that's always kudos to. I take that as a high compliment, because if the players are having fun, no game jumps off the table and runs itself. Only we do. Only GMs. So that was a lot of fun. I did appreciate that, and it was just a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it very, very much. All the players really liked it. So it was a win. So my question to the 5 people that are probably just listening to me babble in the background, including Mr. Craig in New Zealand, is what do you guys think? Have you got a chance to run it? Have you looked at it? Are you interested in it? Or you're like, no, it's not for me. And if that's the case, why the hell are you watching me? But I got to say, I was thoroughly impressed. Everyone loved the 3 action economy. I think that is clutch right now. I think D&D in their next version, I guarantee you they're going to go to something similar. They'll obviously call it something different, and it'll mechanically work a little differently, but it'll be the same thing because it gave the thing that I really like about the action economy system is players have choices, and that's really what players want. They want to know that they have a way to affect the environment and the scenario and the things that are going on in and around them. And if you only have one action and you cast a spell and that's it, and there's all this shit going on around you, you kind of feel useless. Or maybe you're a fighter and you swung your sword and now you're done. And you've used your action surge, because you're a low level fighter, and now you're done. You've got nothing until you take another short rest, and obviously you're not going to take a short rest in the middle of combat, so you kind of feel useless at that point. And we've run into that a little bit in our D&D and our Midgard game, where things have kind of bogged down a little bit. And I've noticed, I mean, we're 5 or 6 sessions into this game, and don't get me wrong, we're having fun. We enjoy the 5e fantasy system in the Midgard universe, but I can see players getting slightly disinterested, and I'm trying to keep them involved in it, but the mechanics stymie you. I mean, you can't do anything. It's not your turn. With the 3 action economy, the players have a little more agency. They have a little more. They have more to do. They can hold that action. They have better reactions for different things, and they feel more empowered. Um, uh, Sylvia, the young lady that was playing Sylvana, funny enough, the Elven Ranger, she was just, man, she was in it, and she was asking intelligent questions. She's a 17-year-old high school student, and I was really impressed at the level of depth that she dove into by just, she had never seen this character before last night, and she dove in and she just jumped on it, and she was asking intelligent questions. Can I do this? And most of the time the answer was yes, because you have 3 actions. So yeah, you want to drop your bow and draw your sword, sure, you can do that. You want to run across there and then attack them, sure, that's your 3 actions, you can do that. So the players felt empowered, and I think that's always a good thing when you have player agency and they're invested. Nobody was sitting there playing on their cell phones or looking at their laptop or their tablet. Everybody was like glued to the table and wanted to see what everybody was going to do. Now part of that is new game, but part of that is also that everybody's got more than just one thing to do. So the fighter's going to fight, the wizard's going to cast a spell, but in D&D they're going to do it once and they're done. Might get an action surge, may make a second attack, might be able to make an attack of opportunity or a reaction, but then they're done. They're done. Uh, so let me interject here. Craig says, mate, I have role played. I'm assuming he's been playing for 20 plus years, but I'm really digging Pathfinder Second Edition. Picked up 5e and it didn't get with me. Haven't played Third Edition. Uh, Craig, Third Edition is a lot of fun, but it suffers from Pathfinder First Edition because that's where it came from. That's its roots. Is It's very crunch heavy. There's a lot of books. There's a ton of different options. There's literally hundreds, probably even thousands of different source materials that you can use. And as a GM, it's hard. You need to lock it down and say, okay, we're only going to use these books. And that's hard to do when players spend, their hard-earned money and they want to use everything. And I'm one of those guys. If you've watched any of my videos and you've seen my gaming library, I have a ton. So, but that's fine. You haven't played it. You haven't played it. The cool thing is it's still a viable game. It's still able to be played. So if you have a convention, there, you can always go check it out if you have the time, or if one of your friends wants to jam it. I don't know what the gaming scene is in New Zealand. I'm assuming it's got to be decent. Um, but Pathfinder, I'm telling you, man, I'm jonesing on it hard. I really, really liked it. I've always been a fan of the Galarian world. I was not a fan of Starfinder. I just felt like it was Pathfinder in space, and it didn't give me that feel of a sci-fi game. It just gave me that feel of fantasy in space, and that's not what I wanted from a sci-fi game. Esper Genesis, if you've heard of it, I highly recommend you pick it up. I'm very dissatisfied with Alligator Alley because they've just poorly managed the Kickstarter. And I think the GM's book is just came out in PDF. I know they've updated the free GM's guide that they put out, which had some monsters in it. There's a book called the Threat Database, which is going to have it's basically a monster manual. And the stuff they've put out for free or to their Kickstarter backers has been amazing. Problem is they've just mismanaged the Kickstarter, and they're like over a year behind on their books and stuff, and that's unacceptable. I won't tolerate that, and I won't support a company that does it. There is no excuse, especially when they're throwing out all these uh, uh, pay to play adventures, download these adventures that might be 30, 40 sheets, which takes a lot of time to do. If anybody's in desktop publishing, you just don't whip that stuff up overnight. It takes time for layout and everything. And they're selling all this stuff, but yet they haven't come out with the rest of the books that people paid their hard earned money for on Kickstarter. This is not a rant about Kickstarter nor Esper Genesis. I'm just saying, if you want a good 5th edition sci-fi game, go check out Esper Genesis. I think you'll be truly satisfied. And hopefully the GM's book and the Monster Manual will be out soon. And I was able to get by. I ran several sessions of it on Fantasy Ground, and it was a blast. Everybody liked it, and they're just bummed that I stopped running it. But I just got bored with it because all information I had was in that core book, and I didn't have any other material to turn to. And I got really a bad taste in my mouth. And that happens sometimes. You're super excited about something and you're waiting for it and you're waiting for it and you're waiting for it. And then you finally get it and it's like, meh, and that's the problem. They took too long. And now I'm mad. And that's my own saltiness. It's, you guys, may be okay with it, but I'm not. Luckily I didn't back the Kickstarter, so I'm not really out any money. So it's no big deal for me. But I just don't like it when companies do that. So Craig says well, you guys are watching, you can see what his quotes are. But yeah, Craig, I hope you do, man. It's really fun. Character creation is pretty solid on this. If you don't know, you pick an ancestry and then you pick a class and then you pick some feats and stuff. If you do the classic method the default method in here, which is all your attributes start at 10, and then depending on the choices you make, you'll get some picks, and every pick you take either gives you a +2 or a -2, depending. Like if you pick a goblin, I think you get -2 to strength, or whatever it is. But yeah, and then you can offset that by putting future picks into that deficit attribute and bring it back up. So it's just you have a lot of customization of your character. I went and used Hero Lab web-based. They're fully supporting Pathfinder 2.0, and so I did did Hero Lab. I bought Hero Lab the web interface version, and I used that to make the characters. It's fully indexed and everything, and it worked out. It worked out really well. So spend the $30 or whatever it is to get it, and you've got all the rules for the core rule book. I think they're going to come out with the bestiary pretty soon. I'll probably buy it, and then when they come out with Lost Omens book and the player's option book, I'll probably buy those because I'll just use that to manage the characters. But I don't know if we're going to swap our D&D game to Pathfinder, or if we're going to do, maybe we'll go to an every other week. 1 week we'll run D&D, and then 1 week we'll run the next week we'll run Pathfinder. So we'll be on a bi-weekly game for each game, and I'm okay with that because I think there's enough in here to substantiate that, and I really enjoyed it, man. Just the options that you were able to get, the characters had flavor. Just with the character backgrounds and the way you create your character, you really walk away with a very, very fleshed out character, I feel. And that's always a good thing. And the players were able to just dive right in. And like I said, all three of them really, I had 3 players last night. All 3 of them really aren't long-time role players. And all 3 of them have only ever played D&D, I believe. So they didn't know anything about Pathfinder, and I didn't go into world setting and anything or politics or anything. I just ran a real simple adventure where they were plopped in the middle of a field. They woke up in a field knowing that they needed to help this like angel, for lack of a better word. Um, and we just went with that. And then we did a cave exploration of some stuff there, and it was a lot of fun. So I just didn't know, I wanted to actually just throw my thoughts out there on what I thought about it and how much I enjoyed it, um, and to see what everyone else thinks about it. Um, so, I mean, have you guys? I know Craig is jonesing on it and he's ready to play. But anybody else in the chat there? Anybody else playing it or looking forward to trying to get a group together to play it? I think it's totally worth it. It's a buy in Mr. Mean's book. What's your thoughts on Midgard? What do you mean, Craig? Midgard for Pathfinder or Midgard for Fifth Edition? I'm currently running a Midgard campaign in Fifth Edition, and I'm loving it. I really like the setting a lot. I mean, I love the diverse characters and the races and everything, and the whole setting. Uh, and then I love Galarian. I've been a fan of Pathfinder since it came out. I play tested the first Pathfinder, downloaded the 400 and something page book, printed it at work, and then took it to Kinko's and had them spiral bound it. And in fact, I just gave that spiral bound thing away right before I moved here to Duluth. I moved from Texas to Duluth, and I gave it away. Oh, which would I prefer? Ooh, man, that's tough. Because, see, they make a Midgard for Pathfinder First Edition. But the nice part is you don't necessarily need the mechanics to run Midgard. I mean, you could run the flavor and just use the Galarian, setting. Or, I mean, use the Midgard setting. You wouldn't have all the crunch of the rules, but you could run it in Pathfinder. And they may do an update or whatever to Second Edition, and I hope they do. And if they do, I would be real tempted. I'll tell you this: if they convert Midgard to Second Edition Pathfinder, that'll be my jam. That's what I'll go with. That being said, until that happens, I'll be more than happy to run in Galarian. I really like the world. It is extremely fleshed out, very well written, and very well done. So I hope that answers your question. I got my blueberry banana smoothie and my vitamin mix. You got to be healthy, guys. So, any other questions? Anybody else? Class? Anyone? Raise your hand. Um, like I said, my son's in bed. I had a nice quiet evening, and I just wanted to go on live and do something. I hadn't done this in quite a while, and I thought it would be fun to do it. So that was all. I did order Plague Stone and the flip mats that go with it. I ordered those today. In fact, Plague Stone will be here tomorrow. It's 1 day shipping for whatever reason. So I ordered that, and I'll have that tomorrow, probably by 8 o'clock, I think. So I'm really jonesing to read that. I've heard really good things about it. So I'm not one to usually buy published adventures. It's just not my thing. But I thought I'd give it a try. It was only like, I don't know, 15, 16 bucks on Amazon. And they had 1 day shipping, which I didn't even know until after I ordered it. So I was pleasantly surprised about that. And the flip mats will be here sometime Monday, I think. So definitely going to get that. My hair is just crazy, guys. I apologize. I'm just a hair bear. See what else is going on. Work is going good. Very happy with my job. My son is doing amazing. Like I said, I'm enjoying running Midgard. It's a lot of fun. It's very well written. Kobold Press has done a bang up job. I've got the 2 monster manuals, the Creature Codex and the Tome of Beast. I have the Midgard World book, and then I have the Heroes Handbook. There's a Margrave Heroes book, and it's only, I think it's about 40 pages. but it's like 20 bucks on Amazon. And I'm like, 40 pages for 20 bucks. I don't think that's, so I may just get that as a PDF, but it gives you more character options for the Margrave Forest, which is this huge forest, I think, northeast of Zobek. Zobek is the big city, and that's where I'm running my campaign right now, is in Zobek. Um, Players just hit 4th level, but unfortunately we lost one of our players because his fiance is in town. They have a long distance relationship, and so he's off for a month. He won't be back until I think early September, mid September, when she goes back to England. So he won't be able to play. So we may just put the game on hiatus until he's able to come back, and then we might just run Pathfinder until then. So that way I don't leave him behind. And in fact, I've just made an executive decision, and I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to run Pathfinder until Brad can come back, and then we'll switch back to 5th edition Midgard. And that'll give me a nice little break and get the juices flowing for a different game, because I'm excited about Pathfinder right now. And I don't know about you guys, but I do suffer from gaming ADD, and it's like, ooh, shiny, new game, got to go over there. And I'm in that boat right now with Pathfinder. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's all good. Like I said, I'm enjoying it. So let me see on Discord if anybody's in Discord saying anything. Nope, nobody's in Discord. Fine, be that way. That's fine. That's too much stuff for me to keep track of anyway. But yeah, I posted the link in my Discord channel. So that way, because I know there's a couple people that follow me on Discord and they would be able to watch. So how long have we been streaming for? 31 minutes. So yeah, I've got the Plaguestone book coming and the flip mats. They'll be here tomorrow and Monday. So I don't know if anybody's checked those out or not. I've heard really good things about the Plaguestone adventure. It's a good first level adventure. So what I might do, in fact, that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to run that Plaguestone adventure for my group in the interim before we start back to playing Midgard, 5th edition. And I've got the flip mats for it. I've got tons of plastic miniatures, pre-painted plastic miniatures. So I've got plenty of those. I use eBay for those. Like, oh, I need a bunch of orcs for this campaign. So I just went on eBay and I ordered like 25 orcs for like $10, I think, or something like that. Pre-painted $5 and $5 in shipping. So it was awesome. eBay is really good for that. Miniature Market, shameless plug for them. I buy a lot of stuff from them as well. Game Nerds is pretty good, but Game Nerds sometimes uses DHL, and I've had bad luck with DHL's shipping. I'm not a fan. So I stick with Miniature Market for the most part, unless Game Nerds has it on sale super cheap or whatever. But for the most part, Miniature Market has been pretty solid. And then, of course, Amazon. I get a lot of my gaming stuff off of Amazon. And then Drive-Thru RPG, shameless plug for Drive-Thru, because I don't have a really good gaming store here that I can order product from, or I don't even find out about product, and so I have to peruse Drive-Thru and kind of look and see what's coming out and stuff like that. Somebody told me there's a new age module from Green Ronin, a new setting or something. I don't know anything about it. I'm not sure if that's true or not. So I want to check that out because I'm a huge Dragon Age and Fantasy Age and Modern Age fan. I love the adventure game engine from Green Ronin. I think it's a really good system. It has its weaknesses and its flaws as well, but it is a good system. So, man, I don't know what else to babble about. I just wanted to really talk about the Pathfinder and my experiences with running it last night. I will say, if you don't have if you're going to be the GM, pick up the GM screen, but definitely buy it from Amazon. Don't buy it at your local game store. That's horrible to say. I want you to support your local game stores because we need to support them. But I really feel $20 for a plain GM screen is overpriced. And I said that in my review. I wish it would have came with a pamphlet of some kind. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some character sheets or something, but it didn't. I understand Paizo's a company and they need to make money. I get that, but I think you need to give us bang for our buck. And I was really surprised. I did watch a lot of reviews of the GM screen, and nobody complained about that. And I think complacency is horrible. I look at companies like Ulysses Spiel, the Dark Eye. They put their GM screen out. I think it was $20 or $25. It was an awesome GM screen, nice and thick and full of very useful information. And then it came with a, I don't know, 50, 60 page pamphlet style book, staple bound, of a tavern generator with floor plans and menus and drink list and all kind of cool handouts you could give to the players, like a menu. So super cool in that aspect, and it was around the same price. And I don't understand why. I understand Paizo's a huge company and they want to make money, but I thought it was a little unfair. And I have the GM screen, but I think it's over there. Um, I just thought it's not good bang for your buck. So I'd say buy it off of Amazon, unless you want it right then and there, or you're in a need. I'm gaming tonight. The group wants to play, so I better buy the GM screen. That's fine. You got to do what you got to do. But I wasn't a fan of the cost versus what I got. Now that being said, it's a really good GM screen. I used the hell out of it last night, and a lot of useful information because it is a new system. So I don't have an edict memory, so I'm not going to remember every little nuance of the rules. And a lot of the basic go-to rules that you're going to need and use are on the screen. So it was really nice to have it in front of me. Plus, the art is phenomenal. Wayne Reynolds is amazing, and he's been doing Pathfinder's art for years. So I'm sure he's put a couple kids through college by now with the art and the money he's made off of Paizo and us, because that's how it all works. But it's totally worth it as far as the content of the screen itself. I think the GM screen revised from D&D was absolutely atrocious and just a waste of money. Granted, it was only $14.99, $15. It was a complete waste of money. It's wasted space. There's big open spaces on it. The art on the front is actually gorgeous. They've got awesome art. There's no doubt about it. Fifth edition, fourth edition had amazing art too. If you see those fourth edition D&D books at like a used bookseller or whatever, pick them up, because A, they're a good read, and B, the art is phenomenal. I think fourth edition was a travesty to players, but to GMs it was awesome. I loved running fourth edition because it was just so easy, and the daily powers and mooks, and the rule of one hit point for your monsters. They could hit just as hard as a freight train, but they only had one hit point. So once they took a solid hit, they were out. I call it the Mook rule. Savage Worlds has used it for years. Feng Shui has used it. There's a lot of game systems that have used it. Uh, yeah, just a bad GM screen, in my opinion. The Midgard GM screen, totally worth it. I think I paid $20 for it. I bought it off of Amazon. Totally worth it. Amazing GM screen. Really very useful. It has some specific information to Midgard, but I think you could use it in your regular D&D if you're running Forgotten Realms or whatever. It has a lot of useful information. It's let's put it this way: it is way better than the official D&D GM screen. There may be some ones, in PDF or whatever out there that are super awesome, but I don't know about those. So I would highly recommend it, especially if you're running a Midgard game. Obviously, get it. But like I said, I'm really impressed with the Midgard setting. I'm super impressed with Pathfinder Second Edition. I think it's going in the correct direction. Now, the foreseeable future, it is going to be the same problem that Pathfinder has right now: too many books. Now, before everyone screams, "What do you mean too many books? You can never have enough books." Yes, you can. And that's the problem with 3.0, 3.5, 3.75, aka Pathfinder First Edition. Too many choices, too much stuff to buy. If you're just getting into Pathfinder right now, you'll go financially broke unless you're rich buying all those books. There's so many books to buy. There's 3 or 4 monster manuals. There's, I think, 3 different player option books. mythic heroes, horror. I mean, they've got all. I mean, there's a plethora of stuff out there for Pathfinder. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think Pathfinder 2.0 is going down the same road. Looking ahead on Amazon at their pre-orders, there's like 5 books already out for pre-order that, I mean, and they're all running 40, $50 a piece. So, you're up to, 150, 200 bucks just in splat books, and if you're going to be the GM, you kind of need those books just so you're aware of what's going on, as opposed to if the player only has the, Lost Omens player's handbook, you don't, as a GM, don't have access to that information. You're going to be lost, and you're not going to be able to plan accordingly to know what your players are capable of. You can always get their character sheets, but you're not going to have access to the information that those player character sheets are based off of. So I think it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Too many books is bad, but it's also good because it grows the hobby and it ensures that the line will be around. Pathfinder First Edition lasted 10 years, just over 10 years. So Paizo's not going anywhere. I think they're a good company, and they make a lot of other stuff, and they've diversified their store. They sell a lot of stuff. Hey, Yafo Noob is on, otherwise known as Brad, my other player in my Midgard game. So hi, Brad, or Yafo Noob. If you guys haven't checked out his YouTube channel, go check it out. He does a lot of Android games on your phone, and he streams them, and it's pretty cool. Some of these games I've never even heard of, but they look like they're a lot of fun. I'm not a gamer on the phone; it's just not my cup of tea. But he does it, and it's awesome. That's okay. Nobody knows who you are anyway. You're not that famous. You're not Mr. Mean's category, so sorry, dude. Um, but yeah, go check out his channel, man. He does a lot of cool games, and he's getting up there, man. He's getting a couple followers, which is really cool, and it's very fun. I like watching those games, but I don't play them. Thanks for the shout out. No, dude, thank you. Thanks for being a player, and an awesome player at that, I might add, and a good friend. Yafo Noob has been there for me a couple times when I needed to talk to somebody, so that's greatly appreciated. So yeah, so just Yafo Noob, just in case you weren't watching earlier, we're talking about Pathfinder Second Edition. I ran an intro game last night with some pre-generated characters that I made with Hero Labs web interface, which you can buy. I think it's like $30, and it's web access, and it gives you, when you buy it, you get one book. And so I chose the Pathfinder Second Edition, which of course gave me the playtest document, and so I could make characters there until the real book came out, and then I was able to. I just downloaded the book, and I was good to go. I keep losing my mouse, which sucks. I don't know what it is. If it's bad Bluetooth drivers, or if it's my mouse. But it's not hard to get back. I just have to go into. There we go. I got it back. Just minimize that. So Yafo Noob, no worries, dude. As always, enjoy and have a blast, sir. And tell Gemma I still believe she's photoshopped. That's the running joke. It's an inside joke, but he'll get it. They're going to the movies. Oh, happy birthday, Gemma! Happy birthday! She flew out from merry old England to spend some time with her betrothed, and then I guess she'll fly back at the end of the month or middle of next month or whatever. So happy birthday to Gemma, live and in person from Mr. Mean to Gemma. But what else? So what other games are you guys playing any games? I see we got 4 or 5 people in the stream, which is super cool. Thank you for watching. Is there anything else anybody wants to chit chat about? What we're talking about tonight is Pathfinder 2.0. I ran it last night as an intro. Kind of, I just used pre-generated characters that I made, and the players chose them, and then I printed them out at home and with Hero Lab. So a shameless plug for Hero Lab. They now have. It's been out for a while now. It's kind of been in beta, but it's out now, and it's web based. It's very cool. And it's very user friendly. It's all point and click, but it's just really quick to spit out characters, which is nice. So if you are not the type to sit there and pore over a book, and most everybody has laptops now. So the nice part is it's not limited to how many devices you can log into. You can still only be logged in one at a time. But the nice part is you could sit with one guy while the other guy's looking at the book to make his character to kind of get an idea of what he wants to play, and you can point and click player one through making his character. I whipped out like 8 characters in about 2 hours. So 8 characters in 2 hours. It's not too bad. It's all point and click. It's helpful if you have the book handy, but it does give you 99% of all the information that's in the players or in the core book. So you can totally do it. You don't need to have the book. Of course, it'd be awesome if all your players bought it, bought either the actual book or bought the Hero Lab. Lone Wolf Studios is awesome. Rob Wolf is a super nice guy. I've known him for years. You got to start there in California, I think where he still lives. And I met him at DungeonCon years ago when he was trying to get this software off the ground. And he was just a super nice guy, and makes some really cool software. So go check out Wolf Lair, wolflair.com, I believe, or just do a search for Hero Lab and you'll find it. It's very cool software, very easy to use, and they're always updating it and adding to it. Well, guys, I don't know if I stopped because it says I'm not recording. So, oh no, it says we've been online for 46 minutes, almost 47 minutes. So I don't really have much else, guys. I think I beat this horse to death. Unless you guys have questions, I know there's a couple people lurking. I think you probably just have it on while you're painting miniatures or you're doing your thing, which there's nothing wrong with that. See, my mouse died again. I'm gonna have to update those drivers. Let's see. We got 4. Well, it says 4 people watching, but I don't know how accurate that is. Refresh the page and see if it does anything. Yep, 4 people watching. So, but I'm pretty much run out of stuff to talk about, guys, unless you ask them questions. So I think we're gonna call it a night. I just wanted to get online and talk about it. So if this helps you out, if you're on the fence about Pathfinder and you decide, oh, I want to play it, Mr. Mean says it's good, or if some of the stuff I've mentioned has intrigued you and you're interested, to pick up the book, please do so. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I think it's worth the $50. I think it's $50. Yeah, $60. $59.99, so $60. But you can get it on Amazon for cheaper. I think it's on Amazon for like $40-something. So I don't know. Let's go look real quick. You guys can't see my screen, but the nice part is I use Brave as a browser. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but I really like it. Let's see, Pathfinder 2nd edition. Let's see how much it is. $47.99, and it's Prime. So if you ordered it right now, you would have it by Monday, the 26th. So that's pretty awesome. There's also going to be, and this is what I was talking about earlier, there's the Game Mastery Guide. That's going to be $49.99. Now, of course, Amazon's got it for $36.91, so that's a little bit cheaper, but it's a pre-order. The bestiary is already out. There's the special edition if you want the cool leatherette cover with gold emboss where it says Pathfinder. I think that's neat, but I really dig this cover. I mean, Wayne Reynolds' art is amazing, and I really like it. So I don't want that cover. I want to see the cool art. I mean, it really does it for me. But that's $75. It's a $4 discount. The GM screen, they're selling it for $80, the GM screen for $18.99, so $1 off, basically. Lost Omens World Guide, which is what I'm eagerly awaiting. It's $36.99. They're selling it for $35.14. So not much of a discount there, but still, it'll probably be prime. They've got the Bestiary in that same red cover for $60, just short. The Fall of Plaguestone for $21 as opposed to $22.99. So I did get a little bit of a discount. Let's see what else. And they're going to have the Pathfinder Lost Omens, Gods, and Magic. Another $34.99. They've got it for $28.09. And then the Lost Omens Character Guide. This is all second edition stuff. There's going to be a special edition Game Mastery Guide, which I don't think you need to buy. And then their first adventure path is Hell Knight Hill, Age of Ashes, 1 of 6. So if you don't know what the adventure paths are, those are really cool. They're 6 episodes. They usually run about $20-$25. Got a couple pages in them, usually around 30, 40, 50 pages, maybe a little less, a little more. And it's an adventure, and it's a full path. And it's made to take your character typically from like level 1 to like level 10 or 15, sometimes even as high as level 20. Let's see if this one says. No, it doesn't. Yeah, nothing. It doesn't say, unfortunately. I mean, there might be some other information in there. Yep, this complete adventure for levels 1 to 4th, first to 4th level. I think just in that book alone. So once you buy the other books, you'll go up. So then the second adventure path 2 will be like levels 5 to 7 or something like that. And so they're really cool. I've never really ran one because I don't enjoy pre-generated adventures. That's just not my cup of tea. But some people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my cup of tea. But to each their own, I guess. I probably won't pick them up. I might pick them up as PDFs, at some time when they offer them as a bundle. The other thing they're offering is the condition cards, which I just can't. I can't bring myself to pay $22. They're $22.99 retail. Amazon selling them for $21.84. I can't bring myself to buy a deck of cards for that much money. If they were $10, and I might even be willing to shill out to $13 for a deck of cards, but they're cards that have the conditions on them. So it's kind of nice. If you're poison level 1, I give you a poison, and you have it right in front of you. It's a tangible item that hey, I'm poisoned, and then you can give it back to the GM when it's over. But I just can't bring myself to pay that much money. To me, that's kind of a ripoff. But that's just me. Some people like all that stuff. I got enough books. I don't need to add more stuff. There's also going to be the character sheets, $15 for a pack of character sheets. I get this. I see the market for it. I don't know. I'm in IT. I've always had access to a printer. I have a color LaserJet printer in my house, and it makes phenomenal color copies as well as black and white. I also have a scanner fax machine because my wife, she's old school and she just wants one. It is what it is. But I can print one of two ways, either inkjet or the LaserJet. The combat pad, these things are useful. I highly recommend them. But if you don't have one, that's fine. It is what it is. They are magnetic. This one's been redesigned. I have the first edition one. In fact, I've lost it by now because it just didn't work. I went and bought a piece of sheet metal from Home Depot and used that, and it worked great. I've kind of stole the Matt Mercer idea from Critical Role that I let my players keep track of initiative when I have a full, because now it appears I'm going to have 6 players in my group. That's just a lot of initiative to keep track of. So I'm going to let the players keep track of initiative and then go from there. So I don't really need something like that. Other people might find it useful, though, and I from what I understand and watching the Paizo broadcast, it's been totally redesigned. The first one wasn't that great, but my understanding is this one's a lot better. So I'm not opposed to it. I might pick it up at some time if I see it on a fire sale or something and it's cheap. I'll probably pick it up. But as it stands right now, I'm not going to get it because I don't have a need for it. Um, I use my GM screen and I do the little cards folded over the GM screen. It works, little 3x5 or 3x4 or 2x3. I don't even know what they are. I use these. Well, these are what I use. I just take these, it's just a 3x5 card and I write what it is. Like on the back here, it says centipede. And then, on the other side, it says centipede times two or whatever. I did buy some off of the DM's Guild that somebody had made, and they're pretty. They're really nicely made, and they're for D&D Fifth Edition. But I'm sure it's just a matter of time before somebody makes them for Pathfinder. But they're the same thing, same concept. You can laminate them or whatever, and then you can just bend them and put them on your GM screen, and it works great. And then you just slide them down, and it's a little bit of work to do it. Because your GM screen kind of folds. And I've been thinking of possibly getting two dowels with like a round piece of wood, and then put the dowels up, and then get a piece of wire and just tie it around, or affix it to the dowels and put it above my GM screen, and that way I'd have my table, my kitchen or my dining room table here is about 3 feet wide, so I could just put it the length of that, and then I can have, because now I'm going to have 6 players. That's a lot of players to keep track of. And then the monsters, of course, when you add more players, you've got to add more antagonists, more monsters and stuff. So and adversaries. So that's going to be a lot of stuff to keep track of. And so I can have the players kind of help with that. That's just my GMing style. I like running big combats and stuff like that. So it won't be a problem. Um, so, guys, that's really all I've got. I just wanted to pop in and do a live broadcast because I hadn't done one in a while, but it's getting on to almost 10 o'clock. I'm tired and I've got an early day tomorrow because I got to go do some stuff. And I hope everybody's enjoyed watching and listening to me babble about Pathfinder and how much I enjoyed it. I hope if you get to play that you enjoy it. And I really appreciate everybody for watching. And Craig over there in New Zealand, thanks for posting. And Yafo Noob, thanks for posting. Enjoy your movie with your sweetheart. Look forward to getting you back at the gaming table here real soon. And guys, let me know how you're playing. Let me know what you're playing. Go like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit me up on Discord if you want. All of that, everything else, as always, peace, love, and hair grease. And remember, Mr. Mean says to be nice. And we're going to stop streaming. Have a good night, everybody.